Everyone's Child began as a project to support school-aged children in Kenya, Africa. The program has its origins with Kids in Kenya, which began in 1997 when a Kenyan named Reverend Patrick Chege invited a missionary team from the Community of the Crucified One, based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to visit his homeland. Reverend Chege led them on a tour of the country, beginning in Nairobi and then into the bush where they stayed in pup tents in Masai Mara. They visited several schools and in each one were treated with a great deal of respect and dignity. Reverend Chege was well known throughout the region, and everywhere they went he was asked to speak. He encouraged teachers and students, reminding them that having an education was one of the best gifts they could receive in their lifetimes, as it was a way to eliminate poverty in their country. The group was also asked to sing and speak at various schools and meetings throughout the tour. At the close of the trip, the team agreed that the greatest needs they saw related to education and healthcare, a message that the group leader took to the bishop and elders of the church in America.
For a long journey begins with one step.
The following year, Reverend Chege introduced them to a landowner who offered the church 5 acres on which to build a mission house and primary school.
So when we began with Lynette, the first school, it was nothing. There was practically nothing here. This was a big shamba.
The land was on the outskirts of Lake Nakuru in a region called Lynette Umoja, the name translating to together or as one. The church community in America responded by establishing a program to promote education and training for children in Kenya. This was done through partnerships with local leaders and citizens by building self-sustaining schools that support community development, access to quality education, and a better life. In 1998, Father Joseph Steger, with the aid of a few able-bodied men and women who lived in Lynette, began the construction of the primary school. In 1999, a small chapel and mission house named Holy Cross Prayer Community were dedicated, and 4 classrooms of Lynette Umoja Primary School opened. That same year, missionaries were sent from America to live in the mission house, and children began filling the classrooms.
One of the things that happened immediately I came was the increase of population.
Due to the new school, the population of Lynette grew from 1,000 families in 1997 to over 2,000 families in 2007.
People start moving to live near Lynette.
People from all different ethnic, religious, and tribal backgrounds bought plots and built homes.
Because we have even children of different tribes, and here tribalism has not been the effect. They are all living as one family, as one people, and all that they care is to further their own education, just to learn.
The teachers at Lynette were predominantly Kenyans, but American missionaries were invited to give Bible and English lessons.
Now David was just a shepherd boy, amen? Woo! Woo!
By 2007, the school employed 28 teachers, served almost 1,000 students, and held classes for children in preschool through 8th grade, with between 40 and 60 children in each classroom. Enrollment in other schools in the area grew as well, but Lynette had more students than any of the other primary schools in the district.
This school has the highest population in Dodori zone.
Many of the villagers attributed the growth to the academic success of the school and the aesthetic beauty of the building structure.
The people liked the school, and even the way the school was very clean. The children are very smart, they dress well. When they come here, you see that this is the only school they want to go to.
From 2003 through 2005, Lynette ranked first place among 13 public schools in the district by the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education, and second place in 2006.
I've been to many other schools in Kenya, and I know that you have a good school.
In 2008, the school's population increased dramatically when thousands of Kenyans were forced to flee their homes due to a post-electoral crisis that threw the country into months of turmoil.
Well, it was last year when we did our general elections that the whole country, almost the whole country, erupted with violence all over after the announcements of the elections, and people started fighting one another. There was burning of houses, killing, and so people started running away. They were displaced from their original places, and so they were running, looking for a place in which they can get safety. And Lanet Umoja opened its doors for these children.
By that summer, the enrollment at Lynette reached an all-time high of 1,400 students. Classrooms that had been built to hold 50 students now held over 100. Meanwhile, fundraising efforts from the church community had facilitated the completion of 2 more primary schools, one in Kitty and one in Kampiamoto. By 2008, the total enrollment of all 3 schools exceeded 2,500 students.
Do you like this school?
I like it very much. It's actually very great.
What do you like about it?
The way it looks, the buildings, everything about it. I would like to work hard, so to be a banker. I want to be a lawyer. I want to become a surgeon.
I want to be an engineer.
I would like to be a neurosurgeon.
The hunger for education in Kenya is ever increasing. There is now a need for 3 more classrooms at the Kampiamoto Primary School, 7 more classrooms at the Kitty Primary School, and a secondary school in Lynette Umoja.
After I graduate and study, I would like to go to secondary.
I would like to go to a decent secondary school after I graduate. If it will be possible, I would like to be in Lynette Umoja Secondary. I would also like some pupils in our community who do not have hopes to have hopes, and they'll join our secondary school here in Lynette.
Most of the secondaries are far away, so if it is around here, we'll be very happy. Is it able for the secondary to start before the end of this year?
That's a good question, and with prayer, we will pray that that does happen. So you pray, and we will pray as well that that happens. We're hoping that it does. We're really hoping that it will. Yeah.
Soon after the construction of the 3 schools, large numbers of children whose parents were victims of the HIV/AIDS epidemic were identified in Kampiamoto. Most were malnourished and unable to learn.
If they don't get fed well, they have a problem in class. They cannot be able to concentrate.
The church responded by raising funds to organize an orphan feeding program for the children. Not long afterward, it became apparent that there were orphan students enrolled in the other 2 schools as well.
These children, we discovered that they had problems. Most of them, they live with grandmother and grandfather, and sometimes they are even poor. They don't have anything to do or to eat or something to do.
By 2008, all of the orphan children attending these 3 schools were receiving a daily meal of porridge or rice and beans. For several of these children, that meal is their only one that day, and in many cases, they bring the food home to share with their families. The cost for this feeding program is currently 50 cents per child, amounting to $500 per month. Since the inception of the program, hundreds of children have benefited from this daily provision of food. People across the United States have contributed to the ongoing effort to sustain the orphans and underprivileged children in all 3 schools.
So that has been so nice, and it's going on well, and these children are happy. They always appreciate what they receive.
And we thank the people who are actually giving the little they have for the sake of those children. I've seen those children being blessed.
Our goal is to continue fundraising efforts to maintain the orphan feeding program, providing food and support for children who have no parents or guardians. Additionally, we hope to begin a sponsorship program where people can support an orphan child who resides in Kenya by sending funds to help finance their education and medical care.
This child, we call her everyone child. It's my child, it's your child, it's somebody else's child. So it's our child, everyone.
Fundraising and construction efforts are currently underway for these goals. We are in a position to impact the future of an entire country. If you would like to help with this vision, please visit www.everyoneschild.net.